Good morning, Christ Church of Peace.
Good morning.
This is the time in our service that we call quiet time. Now for Ray Taylor, that's a little bit unusual because my church background, you end up praising the Lord, worshiping, and leaving to serve. So just to make me feel at home, would you all cry out amen just one time for me?
Amen.
All right, I feel like I'm in church now. This morning I want to share with you a personal testimony that is something to do with my quiet time. This past Wednesday morning, I awoke and I was 74 years old. I was able to get out of bed unassisted, and I made it to the bathroom. And I looked into the mirror, and I looked and I said, God, thank you for 74 years beyond my wildest imagination. You have blessed me way beyond any entitlement that I might have been due. But I do thank you for it. So I do have a question for you this morning, God. Have I been the man that you created to be? Have I, or am I, serving the purpose for which you placed me on this great universe of yours? And as we all do sometimes when we talk to ourselves and we talk to God, we look for that answer. And that answer to me was, do you know my son? And I began to reflect back on the early years of my Christian life. When I joined church, when I surrendered, I call myself surrendering my life to God. Back in those days, and Harvey has a Methodist background, he will remember it. Every year, we had a revival service. Revival lasted a solid week. Started on Sunday night and lasted until the following Sunday night. This revival had a twofold purpose. One was a religious purpose, and the other was to add members to the church. I was in the 8th grade, 12 or 13 years of age. All of my classmates were joining church. And always the evangelist that came to do the revival service had a renowned background for saving souls and added members to the church. That, of course, was why they paid him to come. So he would preach on for a while, and then he would say, Jesus is knocking. He's knocking at the door of your heart. Will you let him in? And like most of my classmates, I let him in. I didn't know there was anything you were supposed to do after you let him in. I just felt like Jesus was in my heart. But I'm going to ask you a personal question. If there's anyone in your heart this morning, if you don't know them, you're not part of their life, and they're not part of your life. Because you can open this door, and anybody can come in. But when Jesus comes into your heart, my brothers and sisters in Christ, if you don't get to know him, it's better to leave him on the outside.
you to those of you who have been attending the hearings at City Hall and for your concerns. In the last 24 hours, I haven't had any phone calls, but I haven't been home in the last 24 hours. And I have a nice escort who went with me to City Hall Tuesday, who's licensed to carry a concealed weapon. So, and the city offered me uniformed police, which I have declined. I believe in the proverb, a soft answer turneth away wrath. So we will not play into their game. We'll continue to pray for our city council and for all involved. Also, I want to thank those of you who were at the rally yesterday. We had about 7 or 8 of our congregation that made it there at different times of the day. I don't think any of us were all there at one time. But it was quite a good rally, celebrating Richard's walk from San Francisco to Jacksonville in support of a federal amendment for equality for all people. This morning I want you to be a little interactive with me. I want everybody to take your hands and look at them, both sides, for a moment. I want you to get a mental picture of what you see with your hands. Now I want you to take one of your hands and run it across your forehead and try to get a mental picture of what you feel as you run your hand across your forehead. I want you to keep those pictures in your mind for the next few minutes as we think about the church. You know, most people like to talk about my church. In my church, we do such and such. And a lot of people like to think, well, and I expect the church to do what I want because of who I am and what I do around there and how much money I give. And when we start thinking about the business of the church, we need to remember what Christ told us is the business of the church. First and foremost, the business of the church is Jesus and Jesus alone.